mate, all together.
We'll get a good walk around, a good look at what you've done to it and how happy you are and what you've added and taken away. And
very happy, mate, very happy.
So yeah, she looks the goods.
Yep, no, it's come up a treat, eh? Managed to put it together without scratching it or putting any dents or anything in it, so...
Those wheels and the whole package have come together.
Mate, yeah, it came together really good in the end. Really happy with the way it came together.
And mate, the trim, now we'll get a good look at the trim, I guess.
Trim, yep, we had a local guy do that. Shed threads over at Laidley, so yeah, he's done a really good job on that. Got a nice pattern and that in there.
Have a look around. I like the Venetian blind, mate. That's a nice touch up the back.
Yeah, mate. There. Yeah, that actually came with the car. It's, as far as I know, it's an original Holden one that would have been in the car from new, I guess. It was an old guy that originally owned it. So
the story on it, mate. Where did you get it?
I bought it off a guy up in Gympie in 2017. A young fella, he'd bought it off a young bloke that obviously picked it up off the dealer that had traded it in. He'd painted it some god-horrid matte colour that I don't know where he found it from, but just looked horrible. He'd cut all the springs and tried to turn it into a race car or do something. He put the V8 in it, had a 253 and that in it when it used to be a 6.
Kind of butchered it a bit.
He butchered the hell out of it. I mean, the bonnet was all cut up with a air filter hole. It was butchered, but it was a fairly straight car and had no rust in it. So we picked it up for $5,000 back then.
Nice.
Chucked it in the shed. I had a couple other projects I was working on at the time. We've since got rid of those and decided to sort of put everything into this.
So she's a real good project to start with.
Yeah, it was a fairly good car to start with. It just looked horrible once we sort of got below that, other than the dents and that you guys had to take out. Yeah, it ended up being a fairly clean car, rust-wise.
Yeah, no, good. It was good for cancer. It was real good. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, basically we gutted it, and you guys know the rest about that. You did all the body work on it.
Yep.
And yeah, got it back from you guys April last year, and basically spent every weekend in the shed since. Until just recently. It's been on the road sort of 3 weeks now. Put a few miles on it.
It looks good, mate.
Yeah, no, it's come up a treat, eh? The paint and everything's beautiful.
Very nice.
A lot of new parts in it, a lot of stuff like all the dash and that. I put the car was originally green from factory, so it had the green velour interior.
Why the grey? Why'd you pick the grey?
I was originally just going to paint it poison ivy green, because we had the interior was immaculate. I mean, the old guy had looked after it. There was nothing. We could have just reused the whole interior basically.
Yeah. And
I thought, oh, we'll just paint it poison ivy green and just throw a 308 in it and have a fun car. And sort of somewhere along the line, after we gave it to you guys, and then Mars sort of said, well, we've already got one green car, which is the Tirana. How about we go something different? And I said, well, what do you suggest? She said, how about we go gunmetal grey? I've always loved it, so it's that spawned the idea of the gunmetal grey.
Nice choice.
And yeah, obviously we went through a few different ones while you guys did a few spray outs and that of factory colours, which a couple were too green, one there was a bit too dark. So we jumped onto the colour charts and found this one. So
I think from memory this was a Corvette colour, wasn't it?
No, we tried the Corvette colour. It was a bit too dark, I think.
Okay.
And we came up with this one out of those colour charts you got off your mate in Toowoomba. That's right, yeah. And there's not a name to it. It was just a code. Yep. And
but geez, it looks the goods. It suits the car.
Yeah, no, it really does. So that was when I decided we'd go the full, because it's an SL car anyway, so it didn't have all the chrome work and everything like the SLEs. Yep. So we decided to the little bit of chrome work that was on it, we'd just changed all that to black. And satined it all, just sort of make it look dark and sinister. Painted bars, and yeah, it's pretty much exactly how I wanted it to be.
No, it's come up. It's actually, when you're the overall finish of that car in the package, it suits it. It looks excellent.
Yeah, everybody that's looked at, like, you'd sort of drive down the road, it doesn't get the same. People don't sort of jump on it the way they jump on the Tirana, because it's bright green. It sort of stands out. But the people who know really what they're looking at, they sort of all come over and go, "Wow,
nice job."
Yeah, so, they look at the way you customise the bars and just the way it's all put together with the black and the grey. It's come together really well.
It's not too much and it's not too little.
No, but I didn't want it over the top like the interior. It's all done as basic as it can be, just all in leather and black. The dash, I didn't put in, there's no extra gauges or anything. I just went with the SLE dash cluster. Simple little sports steering wheel. I didn't want over the top. I just wanted everything to be nice and neat and functional.
Yeah, that's the way to go too.
I can just jump in it, and I mean, basically from the second I started the engine just before Christmas, I reached in, I primed it with the fuel pump, set the floats, gave it a flick of the accelerator, hit the key, and it started and idled. That was a brand new engine.
Beautiful.
I've never had one do that before, and that's how it's been since. Yep. I jump in jumped in it this morning, hit the key, it just fires up, idles, backed it out of the shed and drove it here.
Beautiful.
And we've done, I don't know, probably about 1,500 Ks in the last sort of 3 weeks since we registered it. Every weekend.
How's it feel? She bedding in nicely?
Mate, the engine's loosened up nice now. I'm starting to give it a few.
Yep.
But the ride, the way it drives, I mean, it's like driving a brand new car.
Nice.
I mean, everything underneath it is brand new, but
so the package has worked out just how you need
exactly
it.
Right, yeah. It's just a car we can just jump in and just go wherever we want.
We'll have a look inside it, eh?
So,
do you mind if I jump in, mate?
Go, mate, go. Don't mind the dirt on the mat there.
Oh wow, that feels nice.
Yeah, that's just the original factory seat, just redone in some leather.
Just feels comfortable.
Yep.
Well, that guy's done a nice job on your trim. I like it.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Excellent. He's done a very nice job.
Local guy too. So,
mate, the way you've just left this and not overdone it, and not butchered it, if you like.
Yep. No.
It just looks nice. The whole thing that you've done there.
Didn't want any gauges hanging down anywhere or anything. So.
It's a car you could jump in and just drive it, no problem at all, and be reliable.
Yep.
No, that's a nice package, Chris. It's credit to you, mate. It's come up good.
Thanks, mate.
You've spent quite a few hours fitting this up, obviously.
Yeah, there was a lot of hours putting that dash. Like we painted that from green to black.
Yep.
So it's still all the original parts.
You know, it's very, very nice.
And
good choice all round, I think, with this. Mate, I'll let you do the honours. We'll lift the bonnet. And we'll have a squizzy under there so everyone can see what you've done there.
Yep, no, it's a nice place under there. I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Nice and tidy. Actually, that's a good job, mate, what you've done there. That's bloody good. Wow, that's excellent. You've gone for the aluminium radiator?
No, that's a brass radiator. That one.
Brass,
Yeah,
brass,
yeah,
mate,
she's a proper deal made by a mob down in Victoria, Ferntree Gully Radiators.
Oh yeah, you got a. I don't know what are we called? Racer
Industries. That's just one of their little things. But yeah, it's Ferntree Gully Radiators in Victoria. They custom make them.
Happy with it?
Oh, mate. We went on a charity run yesterday. It would have been probably 35, 36 degrees in town. We were just idling around, sort of in the back blocks doing this. This, what do they call it, poker run.
Yep.
The gauge didn't go over a third gauge.
Wow.
I mean, the thermos come on at 80 degrees and that's as far as it gets.
Perfect.
So even when we were running it in, it was a hot day the day I started it up, and I sat it there 2,000 RPM straight out of the headers for 20 minutes and it didn't go over third gauge.
Wow, that's great.
So it's a big 3-core. The guy said to me, he said, you can run 12-to-1 compression 355 and it won't overheat on a 40-degree day with that radiator. So.
I like these strut covers, mate. They look good.
Yeah, no, they come up really good. Guy down south, low fabrications. He does all that sort of stuff.
So nice. Just tidies them up.
We put obviously the plate underneath. It's the K-Mac. They're an adjustable strut top.
Yep. Okay.
So you can get the wheel alignment because they're so low. You got to put those in to get the wheel alignment right.
Those headers, not a lot there. You're fairly tight, mate.
Yeah. I had to pull the auto out. The auto had a leak when I first put it together, so I had to pull it out. But when I did, I dropped that header off. All the paint had actually burnt on that rail from the heat of it. So yeah, I put a bit of a heat shield on there.
Insulator.
But yeah, there's not a lot of room. They missed the power steering rack by probably a mil.
Yep.
2 mil.
Yeah.
So it's all pretty tight.
Yep. But the way you've colour coded that and cleaned that up, that suits that. It's not underdone or overdone. That suits that engine bay.
I didn't want any polish or anything like that. I just wanted sort of nice and tidy.
It looks correct for the car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, she's around the front of the car. It's nice and clean and tidy, and everything's in its place. And some of these things you look at and you kind of go, oh look, that's a bit under or over.
There's a bit too much going on in there, but yeah, I got rid of all the things like the batteries in the boot now.
Yep.
But like originally I had a power steering pump and everything to go in it. I since moved that all down underneath. I put an electric one down underneath this inner guard there. It's mounted up on the bumper brackets in front of the front wheel.
She works good?
Oh, it works a treat.
Yeah.
So you turn it on, it's like a jet engine. You hear it winding itself up, and then once it's going, I mean, it's brilliant.
Yep.
Really nice feel to the steering.
And mate, where we done that cutout for that bonnet there.
Yep.
That's how'd you go with your air cleaner? Was it
the air cleaner it fits perfectly, but yeah, the air cleaner just sticks through it if you look down from inside the scoop.
Just right.
So yeah, it's perfect.
Should be breathing good.
So yeah, no, it breathes really nice.
We wanted to make sure when we done that, it was pretty good, that.
Yeah, well, I modelled it off the original hole in the other bonnet that we had, and I knew the air filter fitted through that. And I even measured a couple of cars at car shows and that had the same sort of setup, just to make sure.
What do you got for carb on it? So what did you do?
Just a 600 vacuum.
Yeah.
Seems to be working good so far. I put it on there just simply because I had it in the cupboard.
Yeah, not too rich, not too lean.
No, I think I need to jet it down a little bit. It's a little. I did a plug read the other day. The plugs are a little bit dark, but I got to get a couple of jet sizes down.
Righto.
I'll jet it down a little bit on the primaries, but. And that we did a run up to Crow's Nest last weekend for a cars and coffee meet, and filled it up before I went. Filled it up when I got back just to get a sort of read on the fuel. It was 15.7 litres per 100 k's, so cruising on the highway, I can't complain about that.
Nice. No flat spots. She's just nice.
No, I mean, from the second I put it on, I haven't touched the carb other than set the idle mixtures.
Wow.
It came off a 308 originally. I got it with a manifold a few years ago that I bought for the Tirana, and I put a kit through it, cleaned it all up, bolted it on, and there's no flat spots, just hit it and it goes. Secondaries come on beautiful.
So what have you done mechanically to the engine side of it? What is it? What compression? What do we run?
Basically it's a 308. It's got VN heads on it, which are the later model heads, big valves, big ports. Obviously had to buy a different manifold, so that's a Edelbrock air gap manifold, which is it's a performance dual plane manifold. Obviously the 600, 10-to-1 compression. It's got a Crow cam. It's about 490 thou lift, I think, from memory. So not too big, not too small, sort of thing.
So you haven't gone stupid with it.
It's not a stupid. It's just a nice. It had to be a nice little street mount. I mean, it doesn't even have a stall converter, and the cam's right on the limit of needing a stallie.
Yep.
But the standard converter seems to be working pretty good with it.
Yep.
It just makes it a bit more drivable, I guess. And less of a pain in the arse. It's balanced. Got the big headers. Twin 2.5 into single 3-inch exhaust, and that's about it. It's just a nice simple little combo.
You've taken it to almost that next step, but just not.
Yeah, it's not that angry that it overheats and it's big in traffic. We take it like we go into the city cruising around and sort of do bits and pieces. It'll sit in traffic all day idling along.
Beautiful. That's what you want.
So,
no overheating. No, as you said, no wanting to be a pig of a thing.
That's it. And it's just got the Trimatic behind it. The guy who did that for me, he just basically did whatever he does, and it's got like a nice firm shift.
Yep.
Like your manual shifted, it's got a nice kick into second.
Okay.
Without being too violent and sort of throwing you out of the seat.
Yeah, snapping your neck.
Yeah, that's it.
And the diff, mate, what have you done?
The diff, I've still got the 6-cylinder diff in it, or the 253 diff, which is the same as the 6 anyway. I've got a 10-bolt housing at home, but Harrop Engineering, they do the True Track centres.
Yeah.
They haven't got any True Track centres in Australia till after March, so I've got to wait till I can buy a centre. I've got a set of 3.5 gears there to go in it.
Righto.
And once I get that all sorted out, it'll step up another level. It's got the 3.08 gears in this one, which is sort of more of a highway gear.
Yep. Did you build the motor, Chris?
I built the motor, yeah. I got a guy in Ipswich to do all the machining, and then I assemble it all.
Okay.
So,
it sounds good. It just sounds like it's just got that perfect note.
Yeah, it's really good.
She's got that nice crispness to it, and it just on that idle, it's just got that nice sound to it.
Yep.
You trim everything. The whole thing's come together as a very nice car.
Yeah, we had a while to sort of sit around and sort of think about what we were doing, and obviously you guys had it for a little while, so that while that was all happening, we could sort of think about the engine and all the different things that were going to go with it and how it was going to go with it.
You'd be able to take that anywhere in any show, and you'd be proud of that. No matter
Oh
where you
yeah.
went.
So you get to a show and look, a lot of people sort of look at it, yeah, Commodore, but the ones who actually know Commodores, they all stop and have a good look.
Yeah, then they start to look, and then they look a bit more, and before you know it, they're in there having a good look.
Yep. And we've had a couple of guys come up to it. We had one at Joe's Diner there the other weekend. He came up, he recognised it from the YouTube channel you guys are running.
Yep. Okay.
And he couldn't believe it. He walked around it for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's a credit to you, mate. You've done a bloody good job on that. Very good, very, very good job, actually. And I've seen a lot of cars over the years, and that's a nice car.
So other than obviously you guys did the paint and panel, but other than that, pretty much everything else other than the stitching inside, we had a hand in that. We did it in the shed at home.
Yep.
So it came back from you guys as a shell, and we did everything else.
You did all the fiddly bits, mate.
All the bits, like we made all the brake lines. Because I put VT front brakes on, so I got the bigger disc, bigger calipers.
Yep.
Which meant I think it's a VS booster and a VT master cylinder.
Okay, so, oh yeah, I see there, you're gone again, mate, with those.
Yeah.
Throwing them on, yep.
And then, yeah, obviously all the inlets and outlets were in the different places, and instead of just bending the original lines, which weren't real good anyway, the nuts were all stripped and that on them.
Yep.
So just made the call, we thought we'll just make all new brake lines. So a mate of mine at Repco, he had the flaring tool and all the bits there. He just gave me that in a roll of stuff and said, here you go home and have a crack.
You've done a good job on
and,
that.
Yeah, there was a weekend of buggerising around. I couldn't feel my thumbs for 2 days after bending all the pipe.
They look factory.
Yeah, no, they come up fairly neat. There was a little bit of mucking around, but
it's like everything, no pain, no gain.
Yeah, exactly. So,
no, mate, that's an excellent. You lift that bonnet and have a look in there, and you just go, "Wow, that's very, very tidy. That's nice."
Yeah, it was just just things like leads running over tapper covers and wires running everywhere. It's something I've always hated. So when I did it, we went to the trouble. I mean, Mars found those plug lead holders online one day, so we ordered those in, and I made up the leads to suit, and just gets them off the tapper cover, puts them around the side, and they just look neat as. All the hoses, because this air gap's got the big hole underneath it, you can run all the hoses through in underneath there.
Excellent. That bonnet cable, I forgot we run that in under the guard, didn't we?
You did, yeah. It came around through under the guard. I've brought it along here, and it just pops out there and straight on.
Tidied that up.
Basically, all the wiring for the headlights, I ran it back through here as well, because it normally runs just in between here and the radiator.
Tidy.
I actually ran it all through there and used that pipe that you guys put in there for the bonnet cable to run through.
Yep.
I've actually put it all conduit and cable tied it up to that pipe.
Nice.
So all the wiring for the fans, the lights, everything all runs up. The power steering pump, it all runs up inside the car.
So much nicer without all that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, because we put the battery in the boot, I ran it's around here. I ran the cable through the end of the car and just put a big terminal up inside the firewall above your footwell.
Very good.
So basically that's just a positive terminal, comes straight through the firewall. So I've got one cable coming off that down to the starter motor, and basically all the power feeds that normally go to the starter motor on a fusible link, because now there's a terminal inside the car, that all just ran behind the dash straight into there. Even the power steering, it runs around and onto a terminal inside the car.
And it's all still workable and accessible. And
it cut down probably 4 or 5 wires that had to run around the engine bay. They're all inside behind the dash now.
Yeah.
Just tied it up. All the your sensor wires and that, they all run around a harness around the bottom of the sump on P-clips.
No, well thought out, mate. Good thing.
So I don't care if you can see wiring. I just like it to be neat.
Oh, that's you. Like honestly, you look in there from anyone's perspective. You'd look at that and go, "Well, you've done that really well. You've put a bit of thought into that."
Yeah.
And it's the thing that I like about it. It's very serviceable.
Yeah.
It's not all over the shop.
Yeah, you can still get in there and sort of get onto things. I've got a hoist at home, so we get in from underneath if we have to. But I sort of played around with the wiring harness when it was on the still on the engine stand, and came up with the idea of running it on P-clips off the sump bolts, and it just come up nice and neat, and you don't even notice it from up here.
They've cleaned up well, those tags, mate. They
look
good.
Yeah, Mars got onto those with a bit of stripper and some bloody aluminium cleaner, and they came up a treat.
They look great. You'd be more than happy with that, mate, I think.
Mate, I'm over the moon with those. I've had a few cars, but yeah, this is pretty much the one. This is the best one I've done.
Is this your how would you say, your one and only? This is the one you wanted.
This is the last one, mate.
That's what you're saying now.
No, this is the last one, mate. This is the only one. This is the only one I've done a full ground up on. I'm never doing a ground up resto again. My young bloke's getting into cars a bit, so he might have a few ideas in years to come. I'll help him out, but
yeah, I'm
not going to spend a year in the shed putting a car together ever again.
No. So the VH was the car that you've always wanted?
It was, yeah. I had a VB years ago, a 308 4-speed VB, and I sold it. I just got sick of breaking the thing.
Yeah.
But I always wanted a VH. It was actually a VH Brock I wanted, but this had the Brock kit on it when I bought it. When I took all the kit off and then sort of looked at it, I thought, geez, they look good without the kit.
They do.
And that's how it ended up as it is, just the bonnet scoop.
They got, like this particular model has got a really lot of nice body line to it.
Yeah.
And if they're gapped correctly and they're straight, they're a nice car.
Yeah, yeah.
If you see them a little bit average, if the gaps are not so good and the body's a bit average, it really goes the other way.
Yeah.
They're a car because they've got that crispness to the lines, if you like. They have to be good.
Yeah.
And then it enhances everything. Especially this colour, it's really brought all that out in it.
Yeah, no, it came out a treat. Especially that, you put that, when Mick painted, he put that flick in, that metal flick in one of the coats of clear, and sort of under the right light, yeah, it really stands out. we had some photos taken by a professional guy yesterday, and a couple of the angles you sort of look at it from and you could really see it, like even from sort of a decent distance away you could see the flak.
Stood right out in it, mate.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, your little bit of chrome around the windows, that's enough for this car.
I sort of didn't have a choice with that. It came with the windscreen thing, but then we found out later when we did the back one, you can actually get the later model VK rubbers, and they don't have the thing.
Mind you, though, that does look good.
Yeah, it does look all right. If at some stage, I mean, that windscreen will come out for a stone chip or something, get replaced, I'll put a VK one in then. But yeah, it doesn't stand out and sort of make the car look gawky or anything.
Actually, I think, you know, with that bit of silver fleck, with that bit of chrome around those windows, it's just enough.
Yeah.
It looks the goods.
Yeah.
But the matte or the satin around the doors.
Yeah, that came up a treat. I was really, really happy with the way that came out.
And the other thing is too, like your locks there, one of the things that happens over time with a lot of cars is key in, key out, it'll chip that paint away.
Yeah, that's why we didn't paint that.
That's a good choice, mate.
Yeah, even my Tirana, it's got black door handles, but we left the keyhole silver.
Yeah, that's the go.
I mean, I could have welded it out and put an electric buddy lock and unlock, but
no, it takes that originality away.
I just kept all that sort of stuff original and just put a nice paint job on it, nice set of wheels, got the ride height right.
You've got that. You've done that. That whole package is just a nice car now.
Yeah.
And the beauty part about it is you could hop in that, you could drive around Australia without a problem.
Exactly. Well, we're about 6 weeks out now from Rocky Nuts. We're going up there.
Nice.
So it's basically a couple of little things. I've got to get an interior light for it. I haven't got that yet. And sort of this Plenium cover here.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a plastic one from Rare Spares, like an original style one, but they make them out of too thick of plastic and it just doesn't stay on there.
Yeah.
So we end up taking that back. The same guy that makes these strut tops,
okay,
Chubby Low, he's got a fiberglass one that basically covers from about where that hinge is right across.
Yep, fills it
and you just paint it the colour of the car or whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So yeah, they're a couple $100. We're looking at going to get one of those just to tidy that up so you can't see the wiper motor and everything in there.
So he's obviously gone through the issues of what you've just found out. They don't really fit so good.
Well, he has a red Vh Commodore. It's been on the show, seen Summer Nats and that for years. It's unbelievable looking car.
Okay.
And he actually started a fabrication business while building that car, building all this aluminium stuff and doing things.
Okay.
And yeah.
By the look of what you got there off him, it looks like it's going to be pretty good gear anyway.
Yeah, no, it works a treat.
Yeah, it takes a while to source the good bits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, mate, overall, I could, I'd give that a 10 out of 10, that car.
Yeah.
It's a bloody nice thing.
I'd go at least a 9.5, maybe a 10.
You're up there.
It's just I never set out to bloody win Summer Nats or anything. I just wanted a nice, tidy street car that I can just jump in and drive it. I don't want to trailer it anywhere.
Yep. Which is what you've got here.
Yeah.
How do you find those tyre size?
It's pretty good, yeah. The back we had a little bit of a rubbing issue up inside the wheel arch, like they fit inside the guard, they don't hit the lip at all. But yeah, just on the left-hand side, it was hitting up inside the wheel arch there for a bit. I've lifted it back up about 20 mil, different set of springs, and obviously the adjustable panhard rod, I just tweaked that a little bit, and it's pretty much all but cured it. I had a couple of guys in the back yesterday, I took them for a ride. It didn't scrape at all over some big bumps, so
nice.
So the ride height's pretty much perfect.
I like those Simmons.
Yeah, no, they look really good on it. I'm glad we went with those.
Suits it, really. Just finishes it off.
That was another one of Master's finds. We had a set of the F9 style Simmons, the silver ones.
Yep.
And when we decided to go the grey, she said, we need black wheels, and she found those, and they'd only just released them.
Lucky Master's a car girl.
So yeah, she found those, and the Bridgestone guy down the road, he got them in for us, put the good tyres on.
Yeah, they look good. It's a good thing. But yeah, all up, mate. Well done. Good job.
No, thanks, mate. You guys had a fair old hand in it, so.
Yeah, we did our thing, but that's life, But it takes, to get a real nice thing like that to come together in the end, it's a team effort.
Yeah. We'll shut the bonnet and take you for a run, eh?
That'll do. We'll take you for a good ride and see what we reckon.
Let's do that.
What a day for a cruise, eh?
Beautiful day, mate. She's going to be a bit warmer later on, but right now it is prime. Good cruising weather. No clouds, sun's out.
Beautiful.
We haven't got air conditioning, mate, so we'll have to put it away before it gets too hot.
Bugger the air, mate. I'm not a big fan anyway.
Yeah, I like the windows down, mate.
Same. Old school, mate. She's nice note, love it.
We'll have to get onto the council about grading this road, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit how you going.
Yeah, geez, yeah.
Mate, just test your skills out, that's all.
It does, yeah, pothole dodging.
Nice. Bit of the old GM grunt, mate.
That's it, good old Holden 308, mate, good old bong slapper.
Well, that road is a bit average, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty ordinary, mate.
I tell you what though, you know, scenery-wise, it's quite nice out through here.
It's a nice drive through here if you dodge all the potholes.
This being the way it is, this bit of bitumen here, it's a good test for this car.
It is, yeah.
And all things considered, like, I mean, it's pretty average, all right, but the ride of this car is very good.
Yeah, ride's quite good, mate.
Nice and stable.
Considering how low it is.
How does it feel to handle, mate?
Yeah, no, done a little bit of cornering on the smoother stuff since we've had it going, and yeah, it's like a rocket sled on rails, eh? It's got some good gear in the suspension, got some big sway bars and King springs all around. And redid all the bushes, all poly, so she's nice and tight. There's no give anywhere. But yeah, the King springs, they still give a decent ride, but they're still low.
So you put Kings in it?
Yeah, they're the only springs I'll ever use, mate. All the cars I've ever done before will drive. They're Australian made. They're made here in just south of Brisbane, so.
Yeah, they've got a good name. They're well known.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used anything but King Springs my whole life. I've never had a dud set. The set that's in me, I've got a Prado. It's got a set in. They've been there for 250,000 k's. They're still the same height as the day I put them in there.
Yeah, no, they're good gear.
Yeah, you put the good gear in, it rewards you, I guess.
That's it. got some honk there. She sounds good, mate.
Yeah, no, it sounds good when you ride up her.
Very nice. So what's the plan, mate? You're going to just sort of bed it in a bit more, or?
Yeah, she's had the first oil change, so basically the engine's bedded in now. I can sort of start getting up it when I need to. I'm not going to rev the shit out of it all the time, just
Yeah.
get a bit of open space. I'll give it a bit of a hit now and again. But yeah, I'm just going to cruise the wheels off it, get up the Rocky Nats, cruise it up there, put her on show for a bit.
No, she's a nice cruiser.
And yeah, then she's just going to be just the weekend cruise machine. There's a car showing somewhere that's got a good drive between there and there. We'll jump in. Marcy might jump in, take the Tirana as well. We've got the two of them now, so.
That's it. Oh, that's right. You got the Tirana as well, mate.
Yeah, so yeah, we can double date with the two.
Yeah.
Got a show next weekend. We're looking at going out to past Toowoomba, so we'll probably take both of them out to that.
So you're living the dream, mate, now.
I'm living the dream, mate. I'm not in the shed putting the thing together. I'm actually out driving it now.
Enjoying it.
That's it. So stay out of the shed for a while.
No, she goes good, mate. Very good. Just ticking along nicely.
Yep, no, it'll just idle almost all day. Temperature doesn't go silly. Doesn't go over over a third gauge. And the fuel, yeah, if you use a little bit, it doesn't really bother me. It's miles per gallon, not miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly, yeah.
If I wanted it to be economical, I would have bought a Corolla.
Yeah, no thanks. Wow, that's some scenery. There's some hills, eh?
Yeah, no, it's beautiful out here, isn't it?
Wow. What do they say? Good old Queensland, beautiful one day and perfect the next.
That's it, except when it's raining, which is tomorrow, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. So we picked the day.
Beautiful day for it. Alrighty guys, well, I think that's a little bit of a cruise with Chris and his latest toy, and I think he's a very happy man. So I think at this stage, guys, we'll call it quits for that little bit. But you happy with that, mate?
Yeah, mate. See you guys. Take it easy.